6:37, as we mentioned, we have breaking news this morning in the Mountains Edge neighborhood in the Southwest Valley.
Metro police are investigating a murder. This is Jones and Cactus, a mother allegedly killed by her own daughter. Here's our Candace Charles live at the scene with what we have just learned. Candace.
Yeah, it is quite a violent situation. So we want to remind folks about that. But as you can see, it is still quite an active scene and has been that way since about 2:30 this morning here near Jones and Cactus. 911 dispatch got a call from a frantic woman saying her mother was dead before the call disconnected. Now, when officers got to June Flower Drive, they found 62-year-old woman dead. Officers say she had deep lacerations and that there was a lot of blood at the scene. Now, as far as a suspect, hear what officers had to say.
We started looking for a daughter. We now have that daughter stopped and in custody in Barstow, California, with the help of California Highway Patrol. That occurred about 5 a.m. this morning.
Now, there's not many more details beyond that, as this is an early investigation. Of course, as we learn more, we will let you know more. Police say they hope to speak more with the daughter and the neighbors as well. Again, as we learn more, we'll bring you more, so stick with us right here.
Breaking news. Indiana State Police have identified the 5-year-old boy whose body was found in a suitcase in southern Indiana back in April. They have also identified 2 suspects in his murder. One has been arrested, but police still need your help to find the boy's mother. First, the little boy's name is Cairo Jordan from Atlanta. He would have turned 6 this past week. Police arrested one woman in California, 40-year-old Dawn Elaine Coleman, but they're still looking for his mother, 37-year-old Dwayne Ludi Anderson, who was last known to be in the Los Angeles area. Police do not know why the women were in southern Indiana in April, except that his mother, Dwayne Anderson, had been in Louisville jail in March. Police in Georgia have notified Cairo's family, including his father.
It's a bittersweet day. Bitter because no matter what progress is made, what happens in a case, we're still dealing with the tragic death of a precious young child.
This morning on 2 shootings that happened within hours of each other in which an unintended target was struck by gunfire. In one case, it was a 70-year-old woman who was shot in the leg while she was simply standing outside a grocery store in Brooklyn. And just hours later in Washington Heights, a pregnant teen was shot while she was inside a car. Eyewitness News reporter Janice Yu is at that scene of that latest shooting in Washington Heights with what we've learned from the overnight. Janice?
Good morning, Ken. Yeah, I want to start chronologically, actually, and start with that 70-year-old woman who was shot. Like you said, she was caught in the crossfire. She was shot in the leg, and now police are searching for a man. Take a look at this video. This is video we got from police. Police say this person fired shots during an argument in Bed-Stuy. He fled on a blue moped, and we're told the woman who was shot was taken to the hospital, and she is in stable condition. Later that same day, around 9 o'clock in Washington Heights, a woman who is 8 months pregnant was caught in crossfire. She was in the car with her boyfriend when he got into an argument with a group of people, and police say the people in the group opened fire and hit that woman in the leg. And we talked to some people who were in the area when this happened.
Her mom came running, and so did a neighbor. They helped her into the ambulance, and the police got here on the scene immediately. The mom, needless to say, was upset and crying. The neighbor took her coat off and threw it on her.
Off with some very expensive merchandise.
Yeah, it's the second burglary in recent months. This time, they left a key piece of evidence behind the vehicle. Let's go to CBS News' Tina Patel. She's live outside the store where we can still see a lot of damage. Is the car still there, Tina?
Yeah, Chris and Jasmine, this Chanel store did not have a drive-through, but you can see that thieves made one of their own, literally using a van to smash and break into that store and then abandoning the vehicle when they left. Take a look at this video. Police tell us they got the call around 2:45 this morning. By the time they arrived, thieves had already taken off. They don't know yet exactly how many people may have been involved or whether there was another car used as a getaway. Police do believe the thieves got away with some high-end merchandise, but they don't know what or how much was taken yet. They're working with store managers and security to try and figure that out. Now look at this video, because this is not the first time this store has been hit in this way. We can see that a van drove into the front of the Chanel store back in late July. Police said at that time there was many as 8 suspects in 3 different cars involved in that smash and grab, and they did get away. So as we come back out here live, surely some frustration from store managers here that this is happening again. We are going to be talking to police, try to see if we can get more information about exactly what security was here. We believe there may have been a guard, but he was unable to stop this. We don't know exactly the details of whether they're going to be able to look at security video and perhaps give a description of the suspect, but we'll try to get that information for you as soon as we can.
County. Fremont County Sheriff Kevin Astrup is talking about an investigation in western Iowa that is making national headlines. Astrup says a woman claims her late father killed at least 50 women over a span of 3 decades and used his children to help bury them in a well in a remote field. The alleged victims are believed to be prostitutes or transients picked up in Omaha and lured to the farmland.
We will try everything we can to prove or disprove this, but as of this time, we have nothing.
But last Friday, 2 cadaver dogs did find something, the scent of what is believed to be human remains buried at the exact spot, an old well that was 3 feet wide and 90 feet deep. The Fremont County Sheriff tells me it took them hours to even find the well, which is in a remote field just over these hills. The sheriff says the well was completely filled in. Astrup says it would cost up to $300,000 to dig the well, so investigators will try other investigative methods first.
We will get some different notes to try it. That'll be one thing. You know, if we do find a site, we could use metal detectors to see, ground penetrating radar. That's a tool we have to use.
Astrup says since the alleged suspect is dead, time is not a factor.
There's no urgency that, hey, there's going to be a murder tomorrow. So we will move when we can move and do it right.
Reporting from Fremont County, Iowa, Laura Samble, 6 News.
Family in Pasadena, a woman with a pickaxe showed up at their home and breaking their windows. And Jaysha Patel has more on this Eyewitness News exclusive.
Imagine you just moved into a new neighborhood. Your baby is sleeping, and a woman wielding a pickaxe breaks your windows. That's the reality for one Pasadena family who's now scared to live in their new neighborhood. That's the scream of a terrified grandmother after hearing a window shattering Monday evening and coming face to face with a pickaxe-wielding woman in broad daylight. Armand Chukadarian, who lives at the Pasadena home, says his mother was looking over his 6-week-old daughter at the time, whose bassinet is by the window.
I get the notification from our doorbell, and it's like a 2-second clip of someone just smashing our door.
Pasadena police say the attacker is 65-year-old Beverly Baker. When police arrived, Baker was gone. Neighbors helped police find her, and they were able to take her into custody after a 30-minute standoff.
My mother-in-law, first instinct was to grab the baby. 2 seconds later, all you see is huge shards of glass in the bassinet where she would be. It was a miracle that she reacted fast enough, or else my daughter would be dead.
Chukadarian says Baker came back to his home 3 times, breaking a total of 8 windows. Now their home is boarded up and they're staying with family in another location. Pasadena police say Baker owns property in the immediate area of the victim's home.
It doesn't appear that there was any relationship between the suspect, Mrs. Baker, and the victims of the vandalism. It appears as if that she was suffering from some type of mental health crisis.
That is just speculation and has not been confirmed yet. Pasadena police say the estimated amount of damages to Chukadarian's home is $20,000.
Everyone's still shaken up. We built this house from scratch. We put all our savings into this house because it's a nice neighborhood. We grew up here.
Baker's arraignment is Wednesday, and Chukadarian tells us he's trying to file a restraining order against her as fast as possible. In Pasadena, Jaysha Patel, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Learning that an MTA bus was hijacked in Queens this morning. Police say a gunman approached a driver on that bus, telling him to open the door at 199th and Linden in Cambria Heights. He ordered him to drive. As they approached 232nd and Linden, The bus driver jumped out the window, and that's when the bus crashed into a utility pole. That driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and then police arrested the gunman.
Did you know that there's a simple combination of natural ingredients that will help you poop out pounds of old rotten waste in your colon within just a matter of days, and without the side effects commonly associated with laxatives? In the last year, hundreds of thousands of people have jumped on this and are effortlessly dropping pounds of excess poop weight without needing to do things like dieting, more exercise, or counting calories. Now, all that rotten toxic poop is just sitting inside most of us every day, and it simply needs a little help to flush it out. This is a new powerful natural colon cleansing supplement that's helping men and women effortlessly drop pounds and pounds of toxic poop waste within a matter of days. This is no exaggeration. It's called Zupu. It's natural, incredibly easy to take, and has no taste or calories. Ryan used Zupu for 2 weeks and
He's on foot. He's crashed out. On the wrong foot, he crashed out. Allen and Chandler Street. Less than 46 in Chandler.
He's on fire! He's on fire! Get extinguisher! Extinguisher!
On fire right now. Good boy.
This noon, College Park police are investigating a shooting outside of a gas station. One woman is dead, and it appears the shooter is also a young woman. Channel 2 Steve Gelbach is live on Old National Highway in South Fulton County. Steve, where you pulled the surveillance video.
Yeah, I got it from inside the store here. There's a camera on the outside of this food bar underneath the awning here. It points out this direction. It shows the two vehicles from the shooter and we believe the victim pull up to the gas pump, and there's one gunshot either inside or between those SUVs. Video from a security camera outside the Shell station at Old National and Godby Road shows a black SUV pull in around 6:15 Friday morning. The victim, who family and friends at the scene told us may have been followed, was driving the silver SUV. She pulled in behind, stopping right beside the other one. Witness nearby was around the corner. He heard a single gunshot.
Sound like a handgun, handgun. I heard it was a close range shot to the victim head.
It's unclear on the video when the shooting took place, but around 30 seconds after stopping, two women get out of the black SUV. The one in the white top can eventually be seen walking toward the store, talking on a cell phone, while holding what appears to be a gun in her right hand. They stayed on the scene until College Park police arrived. A few minutes later, the victim was pronounced dead at the scene.
Devastating thing. Early in the morning, man. 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, you do not want to start your day off like that.
And I have reached out to College Park police so far. Investigators not releasing any details of what happened here, if they made an arrest or had any charges. They're still unclear what led up to this, if it was some type of altercation that led to this from somewhere else. But we do know that that victim's car was damaged. The whole side was smashed up, and I talked to the victim's family off camera. They said that it was basically a new car, was not supposed to be like that.
Underway this morning in Brooklyn for a man who police say exposed himself to a 7-year-old girl and offered her money to perform a sex act. Investigators released these images of the suspect. The disturbing incident happened Friday evening around 5:30 on 38th Street in Borough Park. Police say the man lured the little girl into a building, but she was able to run away.
Now, this morning, security has been beefed up around the Rutgers University campus after 2 reported incidents of sexual assault.
What's more, they took place in the same home on 2 different nights. CBS News' Elijah Westbrook joins us live from the area where it happened. Elijah?
That's right. Well, Chris and Mary, students will most likely notice the amped up police presence around the campus of Rutgers University today following these incidents as the search continues for the suspect at this hour. We know that the first incident took place Saturday morning just around 3 o'clock. Police say a woman who is affiliated with Rutgers was sleeping in her home when a man climbed through an unlocked window and inappropriately touched her. Authorities say the victim endured non-life-threatening injuries as
as a result of the reported attack. Now, the second incident took place nearly 24 hours later at the same home. Investigators say a female victim was woken up and was sexually assaulted by the same man. In this case, we're hearing the victim chase the suspect from her home, and then the man fled on foot in an unknown direction. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Now, we do have a description of the suspect, and he is being described as 5'8" and was last seen wearing a yellow hooded sweatshirt. Of course, all of this is still under investigation, and again, students will most likely notice the amped up police presence.
8-year-old man is dead after being stabbed in the Bronx. Sources tell CBS 2 the man was a tenant believed to be killed by the building super. A 53-year-old man is in custody being treated for cuts on his arm. It's not clear what led up to the man's death. Police are investigating and working to notify family members.
What a frightening situation for that correction officer. We are told that he was conscious and he underwent tests here at Elmhurst Hospital. Now, this latest incident comes as the New York City Council continues to consider a bill that would ban solitary confinement. Rikers Island is back at the center of controversy after a correction officer was viciously stabbed by an inmate. The attack happened inside the Anna M. Cross Center right before 5 in the afternoon. The correction officers union says the officer was brutally stabbed about 15 times in the back of the head by an inmate. Sources confirm the inmate is Dennis Applegate, who was rearrested for the attack and was scheduled to be back in court tomorrow. DOC Commissioner Luis Molina, in a statement, says this was an unprovoked, heinous, and callous attack on one of our dedicated officers who was simply doing their job. In an unrelated incident, an inmate at the same jail facility died Monday. 26-year-old Gilberto Garcia is the 18th person to have died either in custody or shortly after being released. Garcia has been in pretrial custody on a robbery charge for nearly 3 years. A cause of death is still under investigation. The stabbing of the correction officer renewing calls over a bill that would ban punitive segregation, also known as solitary confinement. Supporters of the ban say solitary confinement is inhumane. DOC Commissioner Molina has agreed the practice is inhumane, but has stated in the past that the City Council bill goes too far, adding that solitary confinement protects other inmates and staff from violent acts.
The search for the man police say raped a female jogger and fled on a city bike.
There have been similar disturbing attacks in recent months. CBS's Alice Gaynor is live in the West Village with the details on this. Alice.
We're in Hudson River Park. Police and investigators are still here on scene. Behind me, you can see crime tape still marks the spot where they are investigating. Police say this morning a 43-year-old woman was jogging when she was attacked. They say she was choked, then raped. Police say another female jogger has been attacked during the early morning hours, this time at Pier 45. They say she was choked from behind, raped, and robbed of her wallet, cell phone, and headphones. Her attacker fled on a city bike.
It's really shocking. I don't know what else to say. As a woman especially, it's really depressing.
After this particular horrible event, I am going to buy some pepper spray.
Police have not released a suspect description yet for this latest attack. Last month, we reported that police were looking for 28-year-old Carl Fainor, accused in 2 separate similar attacks on female joggers. He still has not been arrested. On Thursday, October 6th, around 5 a.m., police say he put a 48-year-old woman in a chokehold and attempted to rape her on the FDR Drive service road close to East 37th Street. She fought him off. He took her wallet and cell phone and fled on his bike. Back in March, police say at Pier 40, just after 6 a.m. around Clarkson and West Street, Fainor is alleged to have pushed to the ground and choked a 39-year-old female jogger. They say he sexually assaulted her and took her phone, fleeing on his bike. Fainor's last address is a homeless shelter on Lafayette Street. Police sources say he has 18 prior arrests for assault, drug possession, and stealing.
An 11-year-old was sexually assaulted on the subway, and now we're getting our first look at the man police are trying to track down. The NYPD released this sketch of the suspect. They believe he approached the girl on a 4 train last month, showed her a knife, and told her to be quiet while he touched her inappropriately. He was last seen leaving the Yankee Stadium train station.